Hi, everybody, and thank you for joining today. My name is Ryan Grubb. I'm part of our key account team here at HOA Start. And today I'll be walking through some of our more popular functions and features in our software. We'll be looking at the administration portion. So, board members and property managers will be looking at how to set up some of these functions, how we would manage those, and everything of that nature from the administration side. So without further ado, I'm going to jump into one of our community websites. Looking at a community site, you are in full control of the resident experience. So you're able to have a public website with limited access. And then, of course, as residents log in, the rest of the site, pages, abilities, and functions are all going to open up for your residents and your members. When building out the site, we have an entire website builder directly available for you, extraordinarily user-friendly. When working in our site setup, you are able to switch out designs. You can switch out your domain name, your color palette, anything of that nature. It is very user-friendly. Everything is point and click. So if on the current website, we want to switch out this photo and we want to remove some of these extraneous photos here, we would simply go into our site setup and hover over those areas. We're going to find our settings there, like edit a photo. Simply click, browse locally, and upload a photo of your choice. The software will automatically optimize and resize any of your images. The templates are pre-built for ease of use, and you are able to determine which items you do and do not want to utilize. All of your changes are instantaneous. You can update and edit the website. You have drag and drop functionality, can edit pages at the click of a button, and all of this will change upon saving and publishing. So in just those quick minutes, we are able to update this with that new photo, taking out a couple of sections, and we will see those results instantaneously. Your onboard specialist and onboard team are here to assist throughout this process. They are actually going to pre-build the shell of your site so that you can simply come in and start customizing content. Once logged into the site, you're able to go to the admin dashboard and reach the administration options. Here we are looking at an admin dashboard. It's going to give you an overview of everything going on in the community: incoming payments, resident requests, new vote and survey results, all of that in one location. For this demo, we're going to spend most of our time back here, and we're going to be looking at our membership. We'll be looking at our features, our forms, and our payments. Much like the site builder, as we work through these features, when we make a change on the back end, it will instantly update the processes, website, and availability for residents on the website itself. There is no coding necessary. You don't have to work within two different softwares. Anything that you do back here, again, is going to instantly update your community site. So we're going to take a look at managing our members and our residents. You will have a full list of your membership database here, and you are able at a click of a button to communicate with everyone in your community, whether that's through an email blast or if they're opted in through an emergency text message blast as well. If you are looking for a specific individual, you can search, find that person, and you will see all of their data, whether it's financial, voting, or any activity by that member. You can also use that search functionality to reach out to specific groups. So if we wanted to send out a reminder email to our board, if we needed to get a hold of everyone that lived on Good Street, we could search specific floors, interests, anything that a resident has filled out to be able to send out a message to that specific distribution list. You can create your own groups as well, and you can do that either through an import of a CSV or Excel file, or you can simply add them manually in here as well. Looking at the membership, quite a few ways to communicate with residents through this. In addition to your text blasts and email blasts, you can send out invitations to items like upcoming meetings. Pretty simple to walk through and file this meeting. Everyone that is on the invited attendee list will receive both an email as well as a PDF copy and links regarding this specific meeting. We are able to create sub-admin roles. So if we do have administrators that don't need full access, but maybe fulfill a specific role, like the architectural committee, maybe they are in charge of uploading minutes as a secretary role, you can create these roles so they have access to certain items as an administrator without having full access software-wide. Other items that we have on hand are publishing our committees on the website. This is a great example of all right. First up is walking through management of our members. First off, when it comes to the website, you're able to launch the website. And if you don't have member data today, they can all simply register through the website, and you can either automate or manually approve those joining members or residents. If you do currently have a member list and it is on a CSV, Excel file, Google Sheet, something like that, you're going to be able to easily import those by simply uploading that document to the software. For the resident data, it's all going to be listed here, whether you have 10 homes or 1,000, easily searchable. So if you want to find a specific resident, you can search, you can pull up anyone's profile and see contact information, voting and dues history, member activity, all of that on a single member card. This is also where our primary communication is, where we can go ahead and send out an email or a text blast at the click of a button. So we can come in here and we can communicate organization-wide, or you can use that search functionality to search through any of your resident data. So if you want to reach out to all of your residents on a specific street, if we want to reach out to all of our board members, if you need to reach out to dog owners, families, people that live on the second floor, you can go ahead and search so that you can communicate specifically with that distribution list. Using what we call tags, you can also manually or import a list of curated residents to create your own distribution lists directly within the software. A lot of other cool capabilities here as well. You can schedule boardroom sessions. When scheduling the meeting, you would determine who's being invited, when the meeting is, are there any minutes attached or any voting constructs. Once you fill this out, it's going to automatically notify all of your invitees, and they will receive both an email as well as a PDF summary of everything that will be happening in that meeting. Two other items that we have listed here. One is specific to the administrators. As user-friendly as our software is, there's always going to be a learning curve. So if we do have people that fulfill a specific role and don't need software-wide access, we can go ahead and create those roles so that they only see those specific functionalities. Think architectural team for approvals, maybe a secretary role that is uploading our meeting minutes, or maybe a committee leader. And that brings us naturally to our committees, where you can go ahead and have these online on your site so that residents can easily join or apply any committee that you have in your community. Kind of a quick look there at the membership. The other aspect of membership is another database that is based on the households in your community. This is another database where residents don't have control over the information, so it's more of an official database. And this is utilized for voting as well as dues. At the click of a button, you are going to be able to send out dues to each home or voting for each home. How it works is that if a member of the home votes or pays, it is going to share that information across each other resident on that account. So if I was a resident and lived in a household, I would have access to my household information. I would be able to see my other members, and I could also see our payment and dues history. So all of that is shared across the household members. Jumping back to the admin portion of the software. A lot of the functionality that you'll be working with is listed within our features and our forms. A lot like what we showed on the site builder. Any changes that you make back here are instantly going to update your website. There's no coding necessary. You don't need to work in any other screen. So for example, if we went to our documents, currently on the website, we are showing that we have a couple of folders. I see that there is a community financials, DCCRs and bylaws, and a meeting minutes. If I were, as an administrator, to come in and create a board only folder, I can easily go ahead and say that only the board will have access to this. I can create that folder. There it is there. I can refresh this page. And you will instantly see that available. So just keep that in mind, that while we're looking at these functions and features, that all you have to do is make your changes, and that will instantly update for your residents. So looking through a couple of these, calendars are extraordinarily popular, easy to utilize. Has a full list here, and you're able to add any additional calendar entries. Even if you are not a social community or a large community, these still hold a ton of value. Just being able to list items like maybe ongoing projects, when you have vendors coming out for a bulk trash pickup or a tree trimming, upcoming meetings that you may have, anything like that where a resident would have to reach out for that information can easily be provided through a calendar. You may have unlimited calendars, whether it's for events, meetings, social committees. You can create and utilize as many calendars as you would like. A fundamental aspect of most community websites, you have your document repository. We like to have everything in one place. We don't want residents or board members to have to save documents locally. And so in that regard, you are able to create documents that are viewable by everyone, that are just for your residents and members, or accessible by any specific subset that you choose. So you can create your own custom groups with their own access rights. That way, when they log in, they're going to see all documentation and information specific to them. So all information is here for management and for the board, but you are able to create a unique experience for your members based on their privileges. If you are a social community, there is a full event registration within the software. The great thing about the events, the amenities, the forms is that the software takes you through step by step. So if you were having a summer food truck extravaganza, you simply fill this out And dependent on the options that you choose here, the setup wizard will take you through the appropriate next steps. So if we have multiple ticket packages available, when we go to our next step, it's automatically going to prompt us to fill those out. Whereas if we go to an event that doesn't have that chosen, and we say, no, we're not going to sell tickets, we don't have sponsors, it's simply going to move us to the next phase and have us review our information. For amenity reservation, very similar. You're going to be able to go through and step by step choose everything from availability to costs to the duration of their reservations. You can even do a damage fee where they will recognize that they can pay up to a specific amount if things are not met to your satisfaction. We can have automated reminders go out. We can have forms that they fill out or even documents that they are required to acknowledge. As an admin, your job is to simply go through, set up the availability, constraints, and exclusions, and residents will have full access on the front end to an amenity reservation system. The great thing for all of these items is, again, as we mentioned with those sub-admin roles, you are able to set up who is responsible for specific items. So if you have administrators that are in charge of the clubhouse, we are able to set up that access management where all requests, approvals, denials, everything would route to a specific administrator. And now looking at forms. This is actually a personal favorite of mine. I don't have a printer in our home. So for me as a resident, having something that doesn't have an online form requires me to download, email to myself, drive into town, print, fill out, everything like that. So this definitely makes my life easier, both as a board member as well as a resident. Forms can be used in a litany of ways throughout the website. As a resident, I may be needing to submit an architectural request or a landscape change. I might use it to go ahead and try and join a committee. As committee, you can have applications. That is a custom form that is built out so that I can apply directly on screen. There may be requests like the lights have gone out around the lake. Maybe I need to contact the board or submit a work order. Again, forms are used throughout the site. Our form builder is very user-friendly. You're able to set up automated on-page submission responses. You can set up who is being notified when these forms are submitted. And the form builder itself is very easy to utilize. You simply add in your type of input. So maybe a drop down for single choice. You can fill everything out here. Anything can be made a required field, and you can test it out here directly on the back end. You have drag and drop functionality, unlimited choices. Again, anything can be mandatory and unlimited sections as well. So pretty fun to play in and create here. The different types of forms listed all interact a little bit differently. So starting with our custom forms, this is a way to gather information. So maybe that's website feedback, what type of food truck they want at the event. Maybe it is that committee application that should send out to committee leaders. This is simply gathering information, and there is no built-in process around the custom form. As we look at voting and surveys, these are going to be handled a little bit differently. When we make a survey or poll, we have a couple of different options available to us. We can make it so that every member gets to have one submission. Once they submit, the form would close for them. We also have a household voting. So again, if 123 Good Street has 3 members, when the first member fills out this vote form, it will shut down for everyone in that household. If your bylaws require it or you'd like to utilize it, you can do anonymous voting or blind voting. And then also, if you do want to have a specific end date where the results are made available to residents, you can set that up as well. So this is a form that exists on the website as a one and done submission that you can limit to a specific group, that you could have one per resident, or again, if you want to limit it to one per lot or address. While forms are my favorite part of the software, the ticketing system is probably my favorite of the 4 forms. For something on the ticketing system, when a resident fills out the form, it automatically notifies a specific chosen team. That team gets notified and has access to be able to collaborate amongst themselves, where they can communicate on this request. They could also send out notification directly to the resident. After submitting, the resident can reach out to the team so that all communications are directly in the software. Everything is saved and retained permanently so you can review. And then again, there is a approval or denial for the requests and a full history of all requests made. So if you needed to revisit a specific request from a lot, you're able to pull that up and view everything that was said, whether it's just between the committee and the resident, and you have a full history here of all previous choices and selections. Lastly, you have violations utilizing the form as well. This can be something that maybe it's a see something, say something collaborative effort, and you can place the form on the site for residents to submit potential violations. It could also be something that is specifically only utilized by the administration team. So you pick and choose how this is going to work. But for the voting surveys, ticketing system, and violations, automatic notifications will go out both to your administration team as well as to residents when there's an update. So if you do create a violation and submit it to a specific user, that resident, member, or household is going to receive all that information. They can directly work with your team through the software, and you're able to change, update, and process different violations directly within the system. And again, all updates and notifications automatically send out to your residents and notify them of any changes. The last aspect here are our payments, whether that is going to be actual financial dues in the community, or if that's going to be something that residents can leverage against themselves and pay for. We utilize Stripe as our payment processor. If you're not familiar, I encourage you to check out their platform. They meet all of the strictest security requirements, such as PCI compliance. And we don't save any of your resident data directly in our software. It goes from their browser directly to Stripe servers. When creating dues in the system, similar to our other functionalities, you're able to simply fill out the appropriate fields, and the software will handle everything else. So if we did have annual dues, we could create these in the system, determine whether or not we're going to have late payments, when these should go out and when they'll be due, how far out in advance they should be due, and who we are sending these invoices to. If you need one per household, it's simply a click of the button and you're able to go ahead and create those in the system. When creating these, they'll automatically send out to your residents. They'll have copies of their invoices, and they can click a button to go to their payment screen and easily pay online. You have a full history of all previous payments, and if a resident chooses not to pay online, you can easily come in and manually mark their payment as received. When doing so, they'll automatically receive an emailed receipt, and they will see their payment as marked paid when they log into the site. All right, that was a quick overview of items and activities on the administration portion of our software. Thanks for the time spending it with me here. If you haven't taken a look, I highly suggest going to hoastart.com and taking a look at signing up for that free trial. Our team will go ahead and customize a trial site specifically for you, and everything we did today, you'll have access to. You can test out building a site, upload fake documents, add additional board members, respond to requests, all of that directly in your trial site. In addition, you'll have access to our support staff as well as our support resources. They are fantastic. There's a video support series. There are FAQs, quick reference guides, a full searchable knowledge base. Any way that you learn or like to consume information, we have something for you. Again, appreciate the time. This is Ryan Grubb over at HOA Start. If you have any questions, comments, or needs, feel free to send over an email, give us a call, or even head over to our site. We're always available, and you can chat directly through the website as well at the bottom right-hand side. Have a great rest of your day and hope to talk to you soon.